So now it's time for our second session of the evening. Our next topic is global research opportunities in science, navigating pathways to prestigious international universities. This session will be led by Dr. Najeeb K, a scientist at NASA Ames Research Center in California, USA. And Sir is also an assistant professor in the Department of Physics at the American University of Sharjah, UAE. Dr. Najeeb has a wealth of experience in both scientific research and academia, and we are honored to have him share his expertise with us tonight. Over to you, sir.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Clearly audible.
I can see back screen. Our people are just not allowed to share their videos or not allowed to show their faces. I don't see my face, by the way. Okay. Anyway, so I have a couple of slides if you want. Otherwise, I can talk without slides too. It's also fine. Let me see if I can share some of the slides with you before starting. So where should I go? Entire screen, a window. Let me try to figure it out. Can you see any slides or?
Yes,
from
sir.
my side, it's just a blank screen.
Not right now.
Now?
Oh. Yes, sir.
Now
yes,
any
sir.
slide?
It's visible. Yes, sir.
So the slide looks like should be have a title of Global Research Opportunities, Navigating Pathways to Prestigious International Universities. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Or okay, let's go. We'll go from here. So my name is Najeeb. I am an assistant professor at the Department of Physics, American University of Sharjah in the UAE, which is one of the prestigious universities in Sharjah. And I also work as, at NASA Ames Research Center in California, USA, as a scientist. So I stay here 2 semesters at American University of Sharjah and 4 months in the US. So right now I'm in Sharjah. I'll be traveling to US in May. So I don't teach here in summer semester. So that's what I do nowadays. So I'll be talking. I think.
Sorry to interrupt you, sir. I'm sorry to interrupt you. Sir,
Yeah.
actually, your screen is visible, but we can't see any slide here.
That's what I was asking. Sorry about that. Okay, no worries. Let me see. I don't
Yes.
know how the best way I can share it. Stop presenting. Okay. Okay. Let me. Entire screen. I'm trying different ways. Let me know when you see this the screen with the slide. Is it showing in now or? No?
Yes, sir, it is.
Yes.
The slides, you can clearly
It's
see the
visible.
slides, which is written the
Yes,
title of the
it's
talk.
visible.
Okay, thank
Yes,
you.
sir, we
Perfect.
can see.
So I'll be talking about this, how you get into the universities outside India mostly. But yeah, so maybe if you have a question about getting into universities or research institute in India also, I'm able to answer because I did my PhD from Indian Institute of Science and Technology in Trivandrum. So yeah, I should be good to answer those things also. Yeah, so I'm a part-time scientist and a part-time professor. So that's what I do. Today, I probably will be talking the coming 30 minutes about these things. The first thing I'll just share my experience, how I get into NASA. I mean, people are really curious. The organizers were asking about sharing my experience. So I'll just quickly share my experience in the first, then I think the previous speaker already gone through all the details, how to identify the university and how the application process happens and how you look for the funding and how you make the good application to get the admission there. Okay, and in the last I will take a question from you. Maybe last 15 minutes we can just have some questions. So where do I come from and what I do nowadays? So as you know, I work as a scientist as well as a professor at the American University of Sharjah, and I do some research here in the American University of Sharjah. in physics department. So my areas of specializations are atomic and molecular physics. We mostly deal with gas phase atoms and molecules and radiations and several other things. When I work in NASA, I used to work with mostly astrochemistry and planetary system and things like Europa mission, several NASA missions. Okay, so that's what I am doing now. And yeah, we have several interesting projects and we are looking for some PhDs and postdocs for this kind of works. Anyway, and where do I come from? I'm basically from Kerala, India, and from a remote village in Calicut district. If you're familiar with the Kerala districts, and it's a northern side of Kerala, just near to the Western Ghats. It's a remote village, and I was the first person who got the PhD in my village. So, and my background was not that good while I was a kid. Especially my parents didn't get a chance to go to school, but somehow I could go to school and college and just got it here. So I did finish my bachelor degree from Calicut University. There is a college in Wayanad which is affiliated to Calicut University. Then after that, I just moved to Aligarh through the AMU entrance exam. Then I did my master's in Aligarh. Then from Aligarh, I moved to several places. Like I did try different IITs for PhDs, and I end up at IST Trivandrum for the entrance, for the PhD, sorry. So the requirements were there, net, gate, just, I don't need to explain all these things. I scored very good mark, all of these. Then I just did my PhD there, then moved to Sweden, Stockholm University. Then I did my postdoc there. And right after the first postdoc, I got an offer from NASA for the NASA postdoc fellowship. But due to COVID and all these things, it got delayed for 1.5 years, especially from my side. I could not travel that to US during those time. But then I moved to Lund University, where there is a synchrotron facility where I did 1.5 year almost. I spent there as a postdoc. Then I moved to NASA, and I joined as a NASA postdoctoral fellowship on a NASA postdoctoral fellowship, which was a really good fellowship. And then after that, I joined as a scientist at NASA Ames, and I'm really interested in teaching the right. I mean, I do a lot of teaching right after my MSc. I go to schools, and I whenever I get chance in IST, let's go to classes and teach. So I really wanted to become a professor. So I had a deal with NASA. They allow me to come here at the American University of Sharjah, and this university also agrees that I only need to teach 1 semester or 2 semesters here, and I can spend the rest of the time in the US and NASA and carry on my research. So that's my story. And as I hope most of you have a similar kind of background, but you will be in your bachelor's or master's. But as you know, means there were several turning points in my life. Like I've been selected for the CESA scholarship in the Sharjah Excellence in Science Award, right? So that scholarship I got from Aligarh, and I tried to go to US in the beginning. It didn't work out. I didn't give net and gate, and just right after my MSc, I just had to wait to go to US. I mean, I was thinking to get a GRE, a good score in GRE, and make TOEFL and IELTS, whatever it is. Then I just go there. But I gave GRE and TOEFL, but I was spending all day almost in the library and eating, the food from Purani Chungi. You cannot have that food all the time. And I got hepatitis B and just stuck in the hospital for almost 1 to 2 months. Then I had to take a break in my education. I took a break. Then I thought, okay, I had to have another plan. Instead of looking into US for PhD, I had to look into India. So that's how I ended up doing my PhD in India. So the reason I'm mentioning this, I'm well aware that how the US or European PhD or master's course system works. So I'll be going to talk about that. So first thing first, see, I think most of you are bachelor's or master's student. You will be looking some university outside. So this is the talk I'm going to deliver here only in a global perspective. I will not be including any IITs or NITs or any other institute like ICER or IAC or IAST. I mean, those institutes are really good. It's not only that you just look into the universities in the US or Europe or Germany or wherever you want, or Australia or Japan. But there are really nice institutes in our country. So if you can do a good job in our country, then just stay there. So you'll be asking, why are you staying outside still? But there are reasons. I'll be coming to that. Anyway, so yeah, so if you are looking at master's or any PhD courses, or just any other courses, whatever you do in not only in science, engineering, medicine, or wherever you go, first thing you have to look for the university and its reputation. So the one way is to look there is that QS World Ranking, so or Times Higher Education rankings, and there are several other rankings like Shanghai rankings. But there is something very important about the QS World Ranking. For example, if you want to become a faculty after a PhD and postdocs, some of the university, like American University of Sharjah, they will be asking you people who have done PhDs from the world 100 numbers QS ranking system. So there are certain things. But I had an exceptional case. That's a different story. But these kind of universities, they are looking people from the world top 100 universities like Harvard, MIT, and Stanford. You can name the universities. So this ranking is very important, especially when you are looking for a research positions or like a PhDs. This really helps you. This will be really helpful for your future. And the second thing, so you identify a university where you want, and specifically if you are if you're just in the final year of master, for example, physics or chemistry or biology, you will be going for a PhD where you really want to have very good PhD degree, right? So, and also have very good publications and very good labs. So first thing you will check the research papers coming from that lab and the faculty you are going to join. And it's not only about the university. There are several institutes like Max Planck Institute in case of physics, which I know, and other example, Large Hadron Collider, LHC or CERN or NASA or anywhere else you go. They don't have even though they don't have a QS ranking, there are scientists, they offer PhD position. So you have to look their publication. That's the first thing, and their project, what project they are doing and whether it aligns with your interest. And also, if you are looking in India or anywhere else, another priority you have to give the collaboration they have. So those things are really important. And of course, it should match with your subject, whatever you want to do research. You should not align their subject, because later you will realize that you are in the wrong field. So you should look first your interest, which kind of topic you want to do. I mean, you don't need to be very specific. For example, if you want to do some quantum chemical calculation, for a general idea, and you have to look for the institute where they are good at theoretical chemistry. Okay. So then you have to look for the research funding, because most of you, for those who are going for PhDs, they must be having at the age of 24, 25 plus, right? So you need funding, you need money to survive. Of course, this is a time you will get hundreds of questions from your parents and the society that when are you going to get job? So consider this as a job. And so already I mentioned potential supervisors. You just not only look at the lab they are working, I mean, just look at the supervisor's publications, how many people he's working with, how many PhDs students are under him. All these things are given on their own website. So you can always go to their website. And if you need more details, you can just refer to their PhD coordinator. There will be emails in any of those institutes. And then once you decide, okay, this is the lab I would like to go, and this is the research I want to do. So now next step is to prepare the application. So these are the general things for any course, right? For PhD, you need to have a master's degree. And for master's, you need to have a bachelor degree. That's how it works. But in some cases, some of the universities, they intake bachelors for their PhD student. And in India, this is very well known, like TAFR, they have integrated PhD. ICERS, they have integrated PhD. Similarly, in the Europe or in the US, they can offer you a PhD position if you have certain credit on the courses. You can enquire them. So if you are now at bachelor final years, you can still trying applying different places. and getting information, gather information, and just if any of the professor or any of the advisor really wanted to take you, then they will they are okay with that. They don't really require your master's degree. And but with bachelor degree, if you want to go for PhD, definitely you need to have some internship and publication and conference presentation. All these things will be matters. But if you have master, mostly the internship and assistantship and all these things will be really helpful. But those are not mandatory. You don't need to have a publication right after your master's. Nobody expect. I don't expect. I didn't have that. So, but it's good that you can show that you have some research experience, previous experience, so that the professor or the advisor will be happy to. I mean, they don't need to train a lot, right? So you already have some impression what they are going to do. Then it's easy for you and for them too. And also letters of recommendation. That is another thing that is also very important, but it's not mandatory in many of the places. But some places it's mandatory. It's good to have a letters of recommendation from the professor. You just randomly don't ask any professor, okay, can you write it? I get many inquiries which the student, I don't know the student, but they just wanted to have a reference letters, but I cannot refer them, right? So even if you are getting a reference letter from your teacher or anyone who know a little bit, that'll be useful. So the referee should know you. And statement of purpose, that's another thing. Or sometimes we call personal statement, but it's a research statement you can write, or why you are interested, what are the experience you are, how you will be contributing all these things. So regarding the statement of purpose, in every field, whether you are in science, engineering, medicine, or arts, or the statement of purpose, we don't expect you to write a statement of purpose on the project we are going to do as a PhD, right? So if you want to write a statement of purpose, you can make a draft and send to the professor you want to work with. Then ask them, this is the first draft. I just had a rough idea. Can you just help me to make it in a better way, so that they will help you, okay? They will ask you to refer this paper, and you can get more information, and you can add more reference to that. Then your statement of purpose will be looking really nice, and when you apply to the department, the right professor or whatever the committee, they will be looking at the statement of purpose. It's not it may not be your right advisor, so they can judge it, okay? So then you will get a positive decision. And for PhD applications, sometimes, not all the times, research proposal is required, but not all the times. Make sure that you just randomly send some research proposals. Before sending, you should have contacted the professor and ask him for some input. In the coming slides, I'll explain how you have to approach a professor and just make a connection between them. You should not, in the beginning itself, you should not say, okay, I have this idea, let's work on this. Nobody expect a fresher to, you can have that idea for sure, but nobody expect you have to have that expertise to do that. So the professors would feel like your idea, and they will have their own idea, and you can just work together and make a project with align both of your ideas, okay? And for US and mostly US, I should say, the standardized test. In India, of course, NET, GATE, just all these things you must be aware of that. But in US, you should have GRE, for example, MIT, Harvard, and some places they ask. Now they are removing all these things. And TOEFL and IELTS is a must in the US, because even though our education system in India is in English medium, there are other parts of the world. There are a lot of countries they teach their own native language. For example, in Japan, even if the master course they have in their own language. So if you go into US, they don't consider, okay, you're coming from India, you know English. They consider everyone else as non-native speakers of English. So you should have some English proficiency test. TOEFL, IELTS, you can search all these details, and it requires some fees. You can prepare for that. It's not that very hard. I did TOEFL and GRE, and I did from Aligarh, and I didn't go for any coaching. I just used the Maulana Azad library. I was sitting there literally 24 hours with the students who were preparing for the MD, the medical students, and I got a lot of friends there in Maulana Azad library, and it was a really nice time. Unfortunately, I could not make the PhDs in the US due to some other reasons, but it was a nice time, and you don't need any preparation. I mean, you need preparation, but you don't need any extra coaching or something. You can do it yourself if you have the right textbook and things, materials. And the most important thing is that resume. For PhD, definitely you should have a very good resume which highlights your skills. And if you can, for example, if you are applying for atomic and molecular physics, you can mention that, okay, I took this much spectroscopy course, or you going for any biology course, you go any biology PhD, you should mention any of the relevant courses you related to that. And if you mention your research experience, that will be amazing. So the professor will know, okay, you already know something. These things, whatever I talk, are mostly depend on country to country. Mostly in the Europe, they look your research, I mean, SOPs, the statement of purpose, and your CV, whether you have a research experience, all these things. But in the US, there is importance, but they give more importance to GRE and TOEFL and all these things. So, yeah, this I already mentioned. Often PhDs, I mean, the bachelor students can get PhDs in the US. You have to check individual universities. There is no centralized system in the US for, like, we have NET and GATE and all these things, right? So, JEST, for example, if you write the JEST, I mean, those institutes will call you for the interview, but there is no such system in the US. MIT have a different system, Harvard has a different system, Stanford have a different system, and so. I mean, you name any other institute like UC, University of California, Los Angeles, there are 7 University of California, Berkeley or Kansas, University of Kansas, or Oklahoma. Everywhere, wherever you go, Columbia, wherever you go, they have a very different system. And we'll come to the funding later, but you will get paid for this PhD in the US. In UK, if you are going for UK, Cambridge or anywhere, you need to have a master's degree mostly. And they're also having different kind of funding. We'll come to the funding later. In the UK and Europe, the thing about, like, it's not like a university central system. You just reach out to the professors, because most of the money comes from the grant owned by the professor. So they will be mostly paying from that. This is kind of they consider this as a contract job between you and the professor. And of course, this is through the university, the funding arrangement does, or the other funding like Erasmus, DAD, or Marie Curie. But this mostly related to the university or the professor. So if you're looking for specifically Europe, you direct email them, the professors, and they will definitely reply to you. And in Australia also, this is the same situation. You require a professor contact. And definitely in Japan, they also work semi-professor contact, or just through some agencies like Japan Science, JSPS, and also there are something next or something. There are several scholarships. You can check all the scholarship details on online. I don't remember the names of the scholarship, but there are several scholarship in Australia and Japan, and UK you have Newton Fellowship and all these things. And Europe, there is several Erasmus, Marie Curie is one of the best scholarship you can have. And if you're going Germany, DAD, you have high chance to get the DAD fellowship. Yeah. So first thing, when you look for the funding, you just go to the university website, check whether the university fund the PhD program. First thing. And otherwise, you just go to the government scholarship. If your university in Germany, you have that. So if your university in Sweden, they have a different grant from the Swedish government. And or if your university in the US, they have a different grant from the university. So each university will have, each country will have their own centralized grant. Plus university may have grant. Or if you are looking in Europe, you can have full Erasmus. Or if you are looking in the US, you have a Fulbright fellowship. And there is a lot of funding around the world. And apart from all of these, you just look at the university professor profile. He may mention that I'm hiring PhDs. That means that he's hiring from the research grant he's having. So you don't have to mess up with the university system. You directly email him. If he's okay, he will just tell you how to make the application, and just you will get there. Okay, that's the easiest way. And if you are preparing for the scholarship, if you have something, Marie Curie, for example, you need to have a little advanced preparation for that, because You have to tailor the application. You have to prepare the research statement, and this is a really competitive exam. Sorry, not exam. This is a really competitive grant. So the grant proposal has to be really nice. Otherwise, you may lose it. So I don't need to go to general application requirement. Each country has a different kind of application. I already mentioned this one, right? I think, okay, yeah, this we have gone through. So the another thing, before you apply, what all things you need? This is a really, we often get this question. Is it research experience is necessary, or I need to publish papers, or I already need to know the professor, or nothing? Whatever I listed is not a mandatory, but it is recommended. It will be useful. Remember, it will be useful. I know if you are attending 100 people here, I know 90 out of 190% of people doesn't have the research experience or publication or the network with that faculty. Believe me, you just, even if you don't know the faculty, you read the research, read the papers, understand what they are doing, then email. I'll show you an email for how to frame an email, then email them, then they will respond. So you don't need to show the publication and gain research experience, really, but it's really help you to get there, okay? And of course, you should have an identity online so that they can immediately search your presence, that see what all things you have done, you either LinkedIn, or if you have any publication, Google Scholar. Even if you don't have publication, just create a Google Scholar account and ResearchGate account. These are the social media pages for the professors and or the professionals. So I mentioned that reach out to the potential supervisors. How you reach out to the potential supervisors? I'll quickly, I'll finish in 2-3 minutes. Then we'll go to the questions. But how you reach the potential professors? Email, that's the best way. This is the most recommended way to reach out the professors, even though most of the professors must have given the phone number and all these things. Don't try all of those things. Just take their email and just frame an email like this. You have to put a very good subject line. Prospective PhD student. I mean, you can make it different. I mean, I'm looking forward these things. So you have to make for example, if you are specifically looking for a quantum chemical lab, and just mention that I'm looking for a position as a PhD in quantum chemistry, and then you write, dear professor, and put the name. And first you have to introduce yourself. The professor doesn't have any idea what part of the world you're coming from, what is your background. So you tell, I am this, and I have this much experience, or I have this much education in this field. Then tell him, I read your research and I found this is interesting. Just don't write, okay, this is really interesting. I mean, you should have justified this, okay? So you just tell that, okay, I'm interested in pursuing PhD. Oh, just tell that, okay, I have this experience. And then I forgot to add some lines. Just tell that, okay, this is what I see on your research, and then I would like to contribute this way and that way, and just make an email. So would you like to open discussing potential opportunities in your lab? Most probably, if the professor is working in a university, if you're sending an email, he may not reply until Friday. I am still, I get, every week I get emails from a student for PhD and stuff like that. We don't get enough time to respond all each individual emails. So some of the professors, they do. They just write, okay, unfortunately, we don't have funding, just send you party, I will let you know if anything else, just like that. But I look in a different way. While I was a master student, as a bachelor student, when I emailed to a professor, I was not just looking at a position there. I was just looking at what they think about my application, or what they think about my email. If I can improve that next time or something. So I look in that student perspective. Then I reply to each email uniquely. I read the email, and if I find that, okay, this email is good, I'll say, okay, this is this so and so. And if that email is, or if that person is not fitting my whatever my requirement, I will just not say that, okay, unfortunately we don't have this. I just say that, okay, these are the good point you have written in email. You can correct this and I will refer them to contact this person or this lab, look this university, if I know what they wanted to do. So the next time, if that person is writing to that professor, definitely he will get a reply. So if you are not getting a reply, just follow up a week or after 2 weeks or something like that. Okay, just don't give up on that. And there is a final tip. Okay, you are doing application. Okay, so don't send the application same email to every professor. For example, if you are sending one of the professor in IIT Madras or one of the professor in Stanford, and they are working in my field, and I am collaborating with them. So if we come to know, okay, this email is generic, it is easy to catch. I mean, it's not that you just sit and just send hundreds of emails a day. You just study what they are doing and go through their papers and make a unique statement about the research and the research you are going to do. So this is how you have to frame an email. And there are several tools you can use, AI tools and other stuffs you can use for help. Okay, so don't make mistake there. And always don't ignore the funding opportunities. You need money. And also always before sending, before clicking the send button, just remember, just read one more time so that you are sure that you convey the message the way you want it to be. Okay, and it should be a very diplomatic email. And what if you get rejected? It's fine. I got rejected several times. It's perfectly fine to get rejected. That's how you learn. I mean, you should get rejection in life. So never give up. Never ever give up on that. So if I give up on my first rejection or 10th rejection or 20th rejection, I would not be sitting as a professor and talking to you today. So never give up. If you have a dream to do research, definitely you can. I mean, I look for alternative universities. If the right university is not falling to place, then other funding opportunities and improve your research profile, apply next time. Okay. And I just only cover in this talk the research part. Okay. Master is a different game. For application for masters, you may not need all this a lot of research and all this stuff. There's a straightforward method if you are going for a master course. And after master, some of the people will be asking, okay, how we go for industry? It's very easy. If you're in the US, you can get industrial jobs. And after PhD, the coming era is for PhDs, basically. I mean, nowadays people are more scared to jump into the research. Purely the reason is that you cannot get a very good job. Like maximum you can be an assistant professor or associate professor or a scientist in a federal agency, I mean the government agency or any government lab. But in future, there is a lot of opportunities coming up for PhDs. This AI revolution and all these things will settle up in maybe 5 to 10 years. And almost all of the middle engineering job will be software, and all this job will be vanished slowly. It will not vanish like that, but it will change the way you look into a job. So most of the company will be focusing to hire PhDs. And in the US, it's a trend, and you have hundreds of opportunity. For example, if you are working in a nuclear field, now nuclear fusion is one of the prominent energy source, which people are trying to commercialize it. So that's one area. If you are working in atomic and molecular physics, ion traps for the quantum computer. So that's one of the vast area which is going to blow in the coming few years. So there is a lot of opportunities for the PhDs and masters. So the industrial thing is a different topic. So I just wanted to open the doors for the researchers. So I think I cover most of the things, how you have to approach and all these things in a brief time. Due to lack of time, we cannot cover a lot of things, but of course, I'm open to questions. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for the organizers and the listeners. Thanks for listening. Yeah, questions. Anybody there?
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you so much, sir. Any questions? Any questions from anybody can be put in the chat box so that sir can answer those questions. Do we have any questions?
There's a question I can read from Zaid. What will be the minimum requirement for masters? Is a bachelor degree, and in the US, make sure that you get a 4-year bachelor degree. Otherwise, it's not recognized. 3-year bachelor degree. I don't think nowadays universities are providing 3 years bachelor's degree, but it's not recognized with the US. So you should have to have a 4-year bachelor degree.
Sir, am I audible?
Yeah.
So my question is that if once we are enrolled in masters after graduation, is the fees are fully funded without any fellowship, or we have to grab any fellowship?
There are different kind of master fellowship. I mean, you can check the funding for the masters. Some of the courses, for example, if you want to do a computer science in the Stanford University, you need to pay. But there are agencies like Bill Gates, I forgot the foundation. There are agencies, they fund you. Okay, so you can check their perspective respective this website on the university. Then you can check. And there are some other international fellowship also. For example, Erasmus supports bachelors.
Yes, sir.
If you want to do a course, Erasmus is the best thing. You will get paid as a salary, and you can do the masters also, right? So you can. Erasmus is one of the best thing you can do. It's not only one university. You do each semester in each different universities in the Europe. So you get a good experience. So these are the things. I mean, generally, 80% of the master's course you need to pay fees, but there are fellowships internationally, and if you are doing in India. If you have a GATE score, I mean, I don't know whether chemistry have a GATE exam, but in physics we have a GATE exam, you will get paid some stipend. So in India also it is paid.
Okay, so thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions? Shall I read the questions from the tech, the message which is texted here? Doing PhD from Dubai is much worthy or from US? Yeah, it depends on. See, if you get in a PhD from MIT, it has its own value, for sure. But you also have to look at the professor who is working there at MIT, right? And it's not that. Oh, definitely, if you have a US experience, that is counted much more than whatever you are getting in Dubai. Social science students. Yeah.
Sir, I have one more question. That can we pursue for masters only after 4-year graduation, or we can go after 3 years?
In US, bachelor's degree means you should have a 4-year degree. Otherwise, they are not recognized. Okay. But in Europe, it doesn't matter. That's what I said. Yeah. So you have to be careful when you are applying to the US. Criteria for social science for PhD. You can check their website. Follow-up should be only once. Again, next admission, follow-up should be only once. If yes, there can be again sent it in the next admission. I didn't understand that. I hope that it's regarding email. You can just send many emails to the professors. If they don't reply, we can pursue the degree even today if one does not want to do honors. You can definitely pursue 3 degree. I did my bachelor's in 3 years. Okay, but I think nowadays it's 4 year. But if I wanted to go to the US right after my bachelor, they don't consider 3 years as a bachelor degree. So there is some cash there. Extra step means that if you can do an internship, any of the if you are any science student, I hope most of them are science students, any of the institute, like any ISRO lab or any other, there are many labs in India, right? I mean, we have PRL, a lot of labs. anywhere you ask any of the scientists, I want to spend 1 month in your lab as an Indian, they will allow you, definitely. And that experience count when you apply, especially in the Europe. In UAE, Gulf countries, in American University of Sharjah, we follow the American system. We should have the TOEFL for some reason, I don't know, but rest is given on the website. Everything is given on the website, but language is one of the things they look here in American University of Sharjah. JR for abroad with scholarship, better student from middle class family with a bit responsibility. Of course, I am also coming. I also have a background of responsibility. What we're talking, that's why I'm in the Middle East instead of sitting in the US. So I travel here and there. But always, it's better to get your degree if you can finish in the US is good. I mean, I should not say that getting a PhD from India is bad. It's also as good as you're getting a PhD from the US, but you have more opportunity in the US compared to India. Email IDs of professor, how to get email IDs of professors? You go to the website. If you know MIT physics department, you go each professor profile and research publication and email address, even phone number also provided there. Okay, so you can just copy from there. Can you please say about PhD from the American Institute of Sharjah? So we are having a PhD program, and we are hiring people in different engineering. So we don't have medicine, but we have physics, chemistry, mathematics, and I think biological engineering, basically, mostly, and some arts courses. So in physics we are hiring. I'm not sure about the other departments with the criteria, but we are looking for people like invested in, for example, if you are looking for atomic and molecular, you can see the website of physics department. And also it's not physics department directly offering from American University of Sharjah. There is something called material science and engineering. So we combine chemistry, physics, and all these things together and put in the material science and engineering, and we offer PhD and other. So you can check the website.
Sir, I have a question.
Science. What should be steps to be taken for that? Master first year in chemistry. You don't need to have papers, but if you can get, you see, the whole idea of doing internship is that if you do internship and if something comes out from that lab, it may not be the exact result what you are working, your name will come in on your paper. So that indicates that you did something there, right? So it's not a necessary thing, but it boosts your application. And if you are trying for Georgia Tech, just start everything. Just check there. And if you get some connection in Georgia Tech, definitely there are PhD students, the area you want to work, nanoscience, right? So you just check the professors and students, and if you get any Indian name or something, just try email them. So they will help you, definitely. And of course, the professor will answer you almost all of the question. And next one, for PhD in US, bachelor degree must be 4 years or in stream incoming from arts background. No, it is not for PhDs. If you are going for masters, for PhDs, they look your master degree. So that's the funny thing. So it's not necessarily. Which is the best university for history? And if you have any question regarding the criteria of the years for the degree, you can directly email the university. Sometimes they are flexible. So, okay. Which is the best university for history master PhD? Please do suggest. For history, I'm not very well aware, but that's an interesting question. History, I'm not in a place to comment on university. Generally, I mean, if I don't have any idea. For example, if you ask me for economics, definitely I can say London School of Economics or physics, Stanford University, or UC Berkeley or something. But for history, I don't have a specific idea. But check the QS ranking of the universities, okay? And check you go to the QS ranking website, and you have several filters. You can put your subject history and ranking system. So you will get all the ranks of the university. Then you just check there which one is suitable for you, which one is where in the US or Europe or wherever it is. Okay. And for PhD, bachelor degree must be 4 years. That's already answered. Germany or US, which is better for physics, especially astrophysics? See, I did research in both countries. I did work in the Europe for almost 4 years, and I did work with the group in Germany, and I'm still working with some of the groups in Germany. There is a huge difference if you look at the physics perspective, but as a whole, there is no difference. See, Germany and all these European countries focus mostly on fundamental physics. You have LHC and all these things, right? But in the US, they mostly work on the application level. So astrophysics, definitely there are very good universities in the US, especially MITs and all these things, they're pioneer. But there are institutes like Belgium, I forgot the Leuven University, and Bern is another one, and there are University of Cologne, and they are really good. And of course, Leiden in Netherlands, they are really good in the astrophysics. You can check the universities, okay? Does take a year break, Hamburg? No, it won't take. I took break after my MSc, 2 years break. So that was a medical reason, but it won't really affect you. But you will see that there are certain benefits if you do every courses early in times, but nothing stop you, right? So you just don't give up. That's the only thing. You may get disappointed yourself. Okay, you may be seeing people who are younger than you doing PhD with you, but it's fine as far as you are doing good. Which university is better for bachelor's? And if you are doing computer science, definitely. If you're asking me universities in the US, Stanford. No one can beat Stanford in computer science, where all the companies started from there. Google, you name any company. So yeah, by the way, NASA, the Ames Center is just near to the Stanford campus. So I know some of the people working there. So Stanford is the best one. Any more questions? If I miss anything, just you can speak out.
Yes, sir. I have a question. Sir, is it necessary to publish any research paper as a eligibility criteria to be enrolled in masters after graduation?
No, it's not. That's what I said. It's not mandatory. It's optional. It makes you, for example, if somebody is emailing me with a publication, and I will see what kind of publication they have. If that is matching with the research I am doing here, and see, any professor who is looking at PhD candidates, they already have a plan, right? So a project plan. And if the student is publishing something else, this will not be very useful. But it can be added to your CV, because the professor will see in a way that, okay, he or she is having some experience of writing papers and you know how to present these things. So that is only thing, but it's not necessary. Any other questions? You can speak out. Yeah. I may have to leave in 3 minutes, but it's okay. But yeah. If no more questions, can we stop here or? Afra, are you available or?
Yes,
hello?
sir.
Yeah. So I don't think we have more questions. Any other questions specifically? I can answer later also.
Thank you so much, sir, for that exceptional session.
Welcome.
And as we come close to the close of this enriching evening, we would like to take a moment to express our heartfelt gratitude to our speakers. A huge thank you to Ms. Sofish Akbar for her valuable session on global pathways in engineering education, and Sir Najeeb for sharing his vast experience on global research opportunities in science. We would also like to thank all the participants for their presence and engagement throughout the event. It was your enthusiasm that makes events like these truly memorable. I now invite Ms. Shiasta, a member of the QM Study Circle, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
In the blessed name of Allah, the everlasting and ever living, the bestower of mercy and the manager of all our affairs, and countless blessings on his beloved Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Respected dignitaries, esteemed speakers, and dear participants, As we come to the conclusion of this insightful session, it's my privilege to extend a heartfelt vote of thanks on behalf of COEM Study Circle to everyone who contributed to making this program a success. First and foremost, I express my deepest gratitude to our distinguished speakers, Ms. Sophie Shan Ma'am, PhD scholar in Chemical and Petroleum Engineering at University of Kansas, USA. Your insights into international opportunities have been truly enlightening. Secondly, Dr. Najeeb K. scientist at NASA Ames Research Center, USA, and assistant professor at the American University of Sharjah, UAE. Your journey and expertise have provided invaluable guidance and inspiration to aspiring students. Your presence and words have been a source of motivation for all of us, and we sincerely appreciate the time and effort you took to share your knowledge. I also extend my appreciation to COEM Study Circle for organizing this impactful event and providing a platform for students to explore global research opportunities. A special thanks to all of the members and volunteers who worked tirelessly behind the scenes to ensure the smooth execution of this program. Lastly, a warm thanks to all our enthusiastic audience. Your engagement and participation have made this event meaningful. We hope the discussions today have inspired you to aim higher and explore new frontiers in your research careers. May this be the beginning of many more such learning opportunities. Jazakumullahu khairan. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you
Walaikum
so much.
assalam.
Thank you so much, Ms. Shriasta, for that wonderful vote of thanks. And that concludes our event for today. Once again, we extend our deepest gratitude to our speakers, attendees, and organizers for making this event a success. We hope you find these sessions insightful and inspiring, and we look forward to seeing you at future events. Thank you and have a great evening.